So let's see how that will affect things for semi-final 2, and let's see who lines up where then on the grid for this one. So it's Kevin Hansen who lines up on pole position. Alongside him on the front row is Jerome Grosjean. Row 2 is Shushu and Ronnie Searock there as well alongside him. And row 3, Ronnie Sample and Craig Breen on the outside, on the back of the grid. That is going to be a very difficult challenge for him to try and make his way through the field. But as we saw in semi-final 1, not impossible.
Yeah, anything can happen. This is Rallycross, and this is why we love this sport. And the weather getting a bit wetter out there may go in Craig Breen's favour. You know, that rally driving experience, being on all the different surfaces and unpredictable surfaces, it could tie into his hands. You
can see the windscreen wipers going there as the rain does come down here in Fuglau in Austria, so that is going to make things very interesting. All of these drivers still on dry tyres, as Dan said earlier on, not wet enough at the moment to affect the track conditions too much. However, if this rain does continue through the support class final we've got coming up for you, and of course into the final for Titans RX, that might prompt a tyre change, a bit of a strategy call for the drivers to make. We might see a few drivers on different tyre compounds, for example. But what is going to happen down towards that first corner? This could be absolutely crucial. It might not be, though, because it might all go down to the last couple of laps of the race. Anything can happen, as Dan said, in Rallycross, and of course it usually does as well. Just to remind you, the top 3 drivers, of course, will make their way through into the final here for round 7. And who are those 3 drivers going to be? We're about to find out. Ready to race board is display. Revs are rising. Wait for the green light to go on. Semi-final 2 for round 7 of Titans RX is underway. Really good launch there from Craig Breen on the outside of row 3. Hansen and Grosjean getting away very well as they head down towards the first corner. 3 cars, almost a train down in towards turn 1, bumping and barging, taking place as they come over the hill, and Shushu goes into the camera and into the tyre barrier. He's facing sideways as they go out of turn number 1. That's a disaster of a start there for Shushu, and Ronnie Sample also caught in some strife here. If he can't get that car going, we could see a red flag situation taking place. Yep, I've just got confirmation in my ear that the red flag has come out then, so the race has been stopped on the opening lap there because of that drama. Ronnie Sample looking like he was struggling there, Dan, to get that car going. And you can see the weather has really taken a turn for the worse. Track conditions have become significantly worse because of the delay that we've had. The rain has come down a lot more standing water on the track, and that is going to make things very interesting, a lot more unpredictable as well going down towards this first corner here, Dan. And well, let's get ready to get this one underway then, shall we? Ready to race ball is displayed then. Who will get the best launch down towards turn 1? Semi-final 2, take 2 then is underway. Good launch there from Kevin Hansen off the inside on pole position. Grosjean also getting away well, as also Craig Breen as they come down towards the first corner. Ronnie Searock into the back of Breen for 3rd position as they come over the jump for the first time of Austria. Thankfully, this time all 4 cars do manage to make their way through, and now Kevin Hansen is leading the way. But look there at Craig Breen, he's leaning on Grosjean and he's up into 2nd place. What a brilliant bit of driving there from Craig Breen, and Ronnie Searock fancies a bit of the action. He's muscling his way past through over the jump. Great driving there from Ronnie Searock. He's now into 3rd place, and he's taking it back though as Grosjean in. So anything you can do, I can do better, says the Frenchman.
Yeah, just look at the track though. The guys are having to be so cautious here driving around. The weather conditions have changed even from the start of their race. You can see it's so much shinier on the surface, making it even damper. So yeah, Kevin Hansen off the start though, he knew it was going to be wetter, turned his RPM down and was able to just drive away from everybody.
Worked it perfectly, worked a treat there for Kevin Hansen, didn't it? As you say, they're tippy-toeing their way round on that first lap to try and find where the grip is, and Kevin Hansen there, well, that is flat out and completely sideways. You can see the rally heritage coming out in Craig Breen there as well, but keep an eye on Grosjean. What is he going to be able to do? He's going to be able to close that gap up to Craig Breen. At the moment, he is in the final as things stand. That's your top 3 of course, Hansen, sorry, I should say, rather get my teeth. Oh, and a little bit of a slip and a slide there, nearly into the tyre barrier, In fact, there for Craig Breen, he does manage to gather it up, but that was nearly curtains for the Irish driver here.
Yeah, but superb car control to be able to handle it, and turned it into a massive Scandinavian flick as he came out of the corkscrew there. And but that did allow Grosjean to catch up to the back of him. Let's see if he can still take advantage of that mistake by Craig Breen, or can Craig start to pull out a gap again?
Yeah, absolutely right. Over the jump we go then for the 3rd time then of asking here. Through the left-hander we go still. Kevin Hansen that leads the way. Ignore the graphics on the left-hand side of your screen. They are incorrect. We'll hopefully get you the correct graphics up in a few moments' time. Breen, though, running a little bit wide. That seems to be a good line, though, in these conditions. He's got great drive coming out of there.
Yeah, seems to be able to hook the car up there. So I'm not sure if maybe that little bit of extra gravel out there is able to support him with a little bit of extra grip. Of course, they're not on the wet tyres, remember, so on the dry tyre, which is definitely not the optional well, the preferred choice, I should say, for these guys, but they had no other option but to go on them. So they're having to tippy-toe their way around, and they're not going to be going as fast as they would like to have been on the wet tyre.
No, they certainly are not. Meanwhile, there is Grosjean in third position. Ronnie Seabrook seems to have suffered some dramas because he has dropped quite a way back off the rest of this field. We haven't seen him on screen for a small while, so hopefully he is still circulating around. But, well, the top three look like they're pretty dead cert for this as things stand. The thing is with Grosjean, if he gets himself up into second place, that, of course, inherently gets him a better grid position for the final as well.
Yeah, so these guys all need to try and finish the best they possibly can. Of course, you know, if you like for Kevin Hansen now, who's in the lead, he's going to be booking himself a front row slot for the final, and it's looking fairly certain at this point. He's got a good gap back to Craig Green, but in these slippery conditions, it's so easy to make a mistake, so he's got to be careful not to do that.
No, certainly not. Over the timeline we go once again. Kevin Hansen, class of the field so far here in semi-final 2. Brilliant car control we have seen, and we expect nothing less from the young Swedish driver. He just looks like he's out for a bit of a Sunday stroll at the moment, because he is calm, cool and collected. Mind you, if he was doing a Sunday stroll like that, I'd probably have something to say about it, but he is doing a brilliant job of leading the way very commandingly and extending that advantage lap after lap. He knows these conditions. He's driven here at the MJP Arena. He knows the Pantera better than anybody really in these conditions as well, which does help.
Yeah, track time and seat time in well, in anything helps, but of course, especially in a one-make series where everybody's driving the same car, if you know that car better than the next guy, then you're definitely going to have an advantage, and it really shows in conditions like this where it's really difficult to get the car around the circuit.
Over the jump we go then, through in towards turn 2 once more for Kevin Hansen. As Dan said, he's going to be booking himself a front row first class seats for the final. Coming up later on, we're going to be going straight into the support class final after this one for you here in Austria as well. So plenty more racing action to come. And there is Ronnie Seabrook travelling very slowly, so he's clearly suffering from some technical trouble. He's right on the racing line here of Kevin Hansen. He does manage to just get himself out of the way, but things clearly going awry here for Ronnie. I think he must have some kind of, well, clearly he's got some kind of a technical drama going on.
Yeah, it doesn't have any pace at all there, does he? Unfortunate for Ronnie Seabrook. So that's him well, a lap down now, so definitely not making a way to the final.
Over the line, Kevin Hansen takes victory in semi-final 2 here in Austria. Second place then, of course, goes the way of the fantastic Craig Breen. Brilliant performance then from him in P2. And of course, Grosjean in finishing third on the road as well. So the Frenchman makes it through to the final. Exactly what he needs really as well, given how form as of late in TitansRX has gone. If you bear in mind back to Montalegre and especially Linden Hill, he had a luckless few rounds of the TitansRX series, and it is good to see him turning things around.